What's up, boys and girls? Continuing in our CRO series, Civilian Resistance Operations. I'm going to talk about DMR rifle, or the SPR, Special Purpose Rifle, or the Sapper, Semi-Automatic Precision Rifle, as Nothing Fancy likes to call it. Is he still making videos? I hope he's still making videos. I haven't had the time to watch YouTube in years. But in any event, what is this and why should we care? This is a 5.56 caliber, 18-inch, heavy-barreled, precision, air quote, rifle. Now, your flavors, your brands, you can choose whatever you want, okay? But the point of this is to take our effective range with a standard GPR, general purpose rifle, of about 500 yards or meters, whatever flavor you're into. Yards if we're in MOA, meters if we're in mils, unless you really like doing math and you're really good at it on the fly. Push that effective range out to about 700 with, instead of 55 or 62 grain ammo, 77 grain Mark 262 Black Hills ammo, or whatever you got, okay? And more importantly, I think for us, and it will vary from region to region, but I mean, find me a 700-yard shot out here. There ain't one. There is not one out here. Doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to hit 700-yard targets with this rifle, but it means by and large out here, most of our shots, the average deer in this county, okay, the average deer in this county, the distance of shot is 12 yards. Rifle season is 12 yards. Now they push out a couple hundred yards in some cases, but it's 12 yards because this is what it looks like out here. 12 yards is handgun range, or at least it should be. So my point is, it's not necessarily being able to reach out and touch something at 700 yards and getting that increased distance, that increased standoff, although that is definitely a benefit. It's the increased accuracy that we can bring to bear with this. So we have more effective range, a couple hundred more yards, standoff capability, and more accuracy, in large part because of the sighting system and the way the rifle is set up. So unlike a general purpose rifle, we have a bipod on this, and this is just your standard Magpul bipod. There are better bipods, there are worse bipods. There are many like it, but this one is mine, okay? And what I do like about Magpul is you can actually load these legs. You can push into this, get a very stable shooting position from the prone or behind a barricade or from an elevated position. However, again, if you look around here, get into the prone out here. What are you gonna see? You're gonna see the rock that's 3 feet in front of you. That's it. So this goes back to being able to actually shoot your rifle. Saw talks a lot about this, standing, kneeling, seated, and prone, right? Being able to make hits from all 4 positions with this weapons platform, not just in the prone. Although I like that I have the ability to lean into this, to push into this from the prone. And one of the things that I like about these Magpul bipods is that they're long enough that I can still run a 30-round magazine in this of 5.56. Now that's part of the caliber choice here, is that everyone can feed this. Now, our preference is 77 grain or 69 boat tail hollow point, depending on what you have in your stash and what your barrel twist is, and every gun's an individual. Every gun built to the exact same specifications with the same ammunition. You'll have one gun that loves 69 grain, another one that loves 77 grain. You have one gun that loves 55 grain and one that loves 60 grain or 62 grain. Same gun, same barrel, same everything. They're all individuals. But ideally, we're feeding this with 77 grain, but it can be fed with all 5.56 ammunition that everybody on the squad can stick mags into this thing, can keep this thing fed. It also, from a size and weight constraint standpoint, I have the same ammo carriage with this. And now this is just steel cased tool of training ammo that's in here, 55 grain, for reasons, because this is, I have infinity quantity of this and it's significantly cheaper. You'll also note, see there's some surface rust on there. Yeah, that'd be a thing with steel cased ammunition, where on average, the average humidity here in my area is between 70 and 80 degrees year round, including in winter, because it doesn't get really cold enough here to freeze the humidity out of the air. So steel will rust. And that's why you can also see a glistening of oil on there as well. So as I'm loading these magazines, I oil the rounds when they go in there so that they don't rust together, because in my environment, that's very possible. And now I'm sticking rust into my chamber, which is not great for the firearm either. So ammunition cross compatibility is one of the things that we're looking at with a rifle like this. It has a weapons light on it that is not the best. It's an Olight weapons light. I don't have the money to put a $400 Surefire on every rifle that I have. Okay, so some of them have Streamlights, some of them have Surefire, some of them have Olights on them. This one has an Olight on it. One of the things that I cannot stand, and what should be done with this in particular, again, these are not gear reviews, this is philosophy videos. This needs to be wrapped with electrical tape or duct tape, because as you're walking past something, this charging cap or the pressure tail switch cap here, it unlocks when you pull it to the rear. That's the locked position. That's the unlocked position. And then as you swipe past something, it will unlock it and then just pull it right off. Now this is damaged, can get damaged. This button in the back can get damaged. And now my pressure switch doesn't work if I need it to. So that, don't love that feature. But anyway, it has a weapons light, it has a sling, and it has a way to aim it. Those are kind of the big three you got to have on every rifle, if you ask me. The barrel, if you look at the diameter of the barrel, this is a heavy barrel that's in here. And this is one of those Palmetto FN machine gun steel uppers. In my experience, your mileage may differ, but in my experience, this is a 1 to 1.5 MOA barrel based upon which ammunition is in it, shooting from a rest, okay? 1 to 1.5 MOA, which is great for a 5.56 rifle. And it's also an 18-inch barrel. So I get a little bit higher velocity out of this thing. I get a little bit more accuracy out of this thing. And there is a break on the end of it. I know people debate the need for the efficacy of brakes left and right, but that brake, while loud, and you could all the way suppress this and any other rifle that we've talked about thus far, that brake, while loud, keeps the gun stable for quick follow-up shots. And I like that. I have backup iron sights offset here at a 45-degree angle in case, because it's a 5.56 rifle, depending on who it is that's carrying this, in case we need to make shots at a relatively close range, or the primary sighting system goes down. Now we'll talk about primary sighting system here. This is a primary arms, 4 to 14 in MOA, not in mils. It has a grid reticle in it with subtensions. There are better scopes. However, I think this was $300. And as you may be able to tell from looking at this and all the other guns that I've showed you, I use my shit. I bring it out here, I shoot it, I get it dirty. I try and wear it out, try and break it. And if it doesn't break, that's an indicator for me. That's a recommend for me. If it does break, that's a problem. You know, I've made many people mad talking about LPVOs, the Vortex LPVOs, what are they, the Strike Eagles? I've broken 3 of them. And I broke all 3 of them in the same place, the bell end here. Oh, so you're against Vortex? No, I'm relating my experience to you, not just my opinion. I've broken 3 of them. I haven't had that problem with PA, primary arms. So this is a $300 scope. I care 0% about the illuminated reticle for 2 reasons. Number 1, I've never been in a situation where I actually had to use it, including low light, early morning or late at night, evening time, before morning nautical twilight and before night nautical twilight, right? Not that I haven't needed it. And then number 2, whatever they say the battery life is on this, they're lying, because it's about 4 minutes. You put a brand new battery in this and it's already dead. And so I don't care about it. I do like that it has adjustable parallax on the side here. And this is not the long range shooting channel, and this is not a long range shooting video. But I like that it has adjustable parallax on the side. And I also like that it has click stop turrets that I can set to 0 once it's zeroed up here. And then I can dial if I want to dial, or I can hold because of the reticle. For me, my preference is to get a good 0 at 100 and then hold. That's my preference, but some people like to dial. Holding with a good reticle for me is faster than dialing using the subtensions in the reticle. And this is a 4 to 14. Now you'll hear a lot of guys talking about a 2.5 to 10. And sure, go for it. If that's what you want to do, you can do that. This is a 4 to 14. 4 power is a low enough magnification that it gives me a good wide field of view at 4 power. So I can see either more at greater distance, or if the target is relatively close, I'm not super zoomed in on it. That's really hard to do. And so it's not an overwhelming amount of magnification, even to, there's a rock over there, it's 40 yards away. Even at 40 yards, that's doable, okay? So it's a low enough magnification that this can still be used at relatively close ranges, and I get a wide field of view. And 14 is plenty of magnification when we start pushing this thing out to 700 yards. So at 700 yards, 14x magnification, that target is going to look like it's 50 yards away with the naked eye, okay, because math. It's quite doable, quite doable. I've routinely shot targets out to 550 and then 700 with the GPR that I've showed you with the 1 to 8 LPVO on it, using 8x magnification at 700 yards. You can do it. I can do it. It can be done. So 14 is plenty, which goes back to, gives us more precision. So we've got a tighter shot group with good ammunition, good barrel. The brake on there and the bipod helps keep this thing where I'm holding it. This has this is just a palmetto gun all the way around. Love them, hate them, don't care. It has a 2-stage trigger in it. This is a Palmetto's 2-stage trigger. So there's your take up right there. Just a little bit of take up, not even a 1/4 inch, maybe 3/16 of an inch. And then pretty decent trigger. What do they call that? I don't know. It was in the lower when I bought it. But pretty, I don't know, 4 pound, 3.5, 4 pounds, 2-stage trigger. So a decent trigger helps us with precision. It's not a requirement. Simo Hoya, the world's deadliest sniper, was using a freaking Mosin Nagant. It probably had a 12-pound trigger in it. And he did just fine. Okay, but it is a decent trigger. So I have more accuracy here, and we've talked about accuracy previously. Volume of fire is where we are going to have a hard time. So we can replace volume of fire with accuracy. And this is not a subpar concept. It's where the Soviet SVT rifles, or not the SVT, the Dragunov came from, 7.62 by 54 Russian. The idea there was they could use a Dragunov in place of a PK or a PKM, or an RPD or an RPK, belt-fed machine guns, we can take our full power cartridge and put that into a rifle that had, with the Dragunov is like a 4 MOA gun, like it's like a 4-inch gun. We'll put an optic on it, longer barrel, box-fed magazine, or box magazine fed, and use that accuracy for suppressive fire. Use that accuracy to take targets out rather than volume by fire or volume of fire. And so why would we want something like this? Guerrilla Auxiliary Underground. Why? Well, it's more accuracy. It gives us greater range. It's still in the same caliber that everybody else is running. I can use a heavier bullet, 77 grain. Simplifies logistics. I could run 55 to 77s through here, although if you zero for 55, by and large, you should maintain approximately the same holds with 77 grain. And again, I'm not the sniper. I'm not the guy. This is not that channel. That being said, it gives us more capability, and this is not that heavy. Okay, even with that heavy barrel and this optic on it, this is probably about 9 pounds. I haven't put it on a scale. This is not that heavy. It's also not fancy. Why do I care that it's not fancy? Because I can build 2 or 3 of these with the same for the same cost as one fancier rifle, one boutique rifle. Why would I want 2 or 3 of these? Because it ain't gonna be just me fighting if we gotta fight. So from a logistical standpoint, and this might get captured, it might get left behind, it might get stolen, it might whatever. So you might think about identifiers there. If it does get left behind, stolen, captured, whatever. Oh no, our SPR, our special purpose rifle, is gone. No, that one's gone. There are more, and they are pre-positioned elsewhere, okay? So the fact that you can get a gun, they'll shoot an inch and an inch-and-a-half group out to 700, no problem, relatively inexpensively. I mean, you're talking 150 bucks, 200, call it 200 bucks on the lower, 300 on the optic. That's 500 bucks. 350 on the upper. So now we're at 850. Weapons light 950, break 1,000, bipod 1,100, sling. You're 1,100 bucks with backup sights. Okay. I don't know, just off the top of my head. Just call it 1,100 bucks. Probably find all this shit on sale and put it together for $1,000. Okay. Now I also have rifles where the optic alone is well more than $1,000. Okay. But for the application, for what it's for, do I need to throw $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 at a rifle like this? Because I want to look cool at the range and have bragging rights with my buddy? Or do I need something that's going to make hits? This will make hits. That's what I needed to do. And it's more repeatable. Do I want one rifle for $5,000 or do I want 5 rifles for $5,000 if they do the same thing? I want 5 for $5,000, not 1 for $5,000. So this gives us accuracy, not volume by fire, but it gives us accuracy. And you may be in a situation, auxiliary or underground, where it's just one shot that needs to happen at range. It's just one shot. Okay. Can it be done with a GPR? Yeah, but maybe I need that shot to go into a very specific place. You picking up what I'm putting down? A very specific place. I need accuracy. I don't need to just hit the target. I have to hit a very specific place on the target. Well, this has a much better likelihood, right shooter, right training, than your standard M4 variant does, okay? So it gives us capability without compromising a whole lot in size and weight constraints or money. 1,100 bucks. And again, as you can see, I use my shit, which is why this looks like this. and it'll take all kinds of ammo. You can pull this upper off of this and pin it on a different rifle if you wanted to. It's even more capability. Doesn't replace our 308 or 6.5 that we talked about in our heavy squad weapons video. Doesn't replace that, but it gives us, at possibly even the fire team level, suppressive fire through accuracy and greater range without a whole lot of cost for size and weight constraints or dollar bills, y'all. And I have a low enough magnification that I can shoot at close stuff, quick follow-up shots, and I have a high enough magnification that I can identify first, because that's important. There's a guy over there with a gun. Shoot him. We're guys over here with guns. Is he one of us or is he not one of us? Which guy over there with guns, right? So that's a lot of the magnification is from an observation standpoint. PID, positively identify the target, not just be cranking rounds over there. Because in an actual conflict, God forbid, in an actual conflict, every round has implications, has societal implications, has implications for recourse coming back towards you or I, whether that's tactically in the moment they start shooting back, or it's strategically, now you're a target. It has logistical implications. It has signature implications. One round is much harder to locate than a whole bunch of rounds. Every round has implications. So if we can get it done with one round or fewer rounds, depending on what the situation is, right tool for the job, this might be the tool for that job. Hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down here. There's a lot of shit that I can't say publicly on YouTube for obvious reasons. There we go. You don't have to break the bank with this stuff, is my point. And if I could only have one, it's the GPR. Go watch the GPR video, general purpose rifle video. I can only have one. It's not this. This is either in number 2 or number 3. And it's competing with light squad weapon, for which I would rather have. And light squad weapon is a viable option for me and for us, because I've been doing this for 20 years and because my ammo inventory is significant. My logistical inventory is significant. If you don't have a significant ammo inventory, logistical inventory, then probably this goes in slot 2, because this is easier to feed than an LSW. LSW is going to eat a lot more ammo than this thing is. That's the show for today. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody who's on Patreon. Thank you to everybody who supports Refuge Medical. Anything you need from a medical standpoint, you call us, hit the chat on the store, shoot us an email. If it's a medical component on planet Earth, I can get it for you. If you just need a first aid kit, we got you. Holler at us. We'll take care of y'all. And I'll see you when I see you.